My name is Zachariah, and for the next 70 minutes I'm going to be sharing some life advice while I play some Minecraft in the background. This is going to be a great video to improve your attention span with after a long and grueling doom scrolling session which you probably are coming off of right now. Or if you just want to play something in the background that isn't too stimulating, then this is going to be a great choice for you. Today's topic for life advice is peace. Just generally how to find peace and how to live a life of peace. Now I want to give some context as to what my life is like now and what it used to be like. My life right now is fairly peaceful, and honestly it's really crazy to say that after years and years of depression, anxiety, just not liking my life, trauma, feeling inadequate in life, feeling lost, feeling like I'm not enough, feeling there's a creeper stalking me. Holy crap, that could have been bad. Just overall, I had really poor mental health problems, and it really took a toll on my life. And I'm so grateful to say that in the past couple of years, I have found ways to overcome my mental health, overcome my trauma, overcome my anxiety, and I'm so grateful that I get to share that knowledge and just everything I've learned with you guys. I mean, it's such a beautiful journey being on self-improvement and just improving yourself physically, mentally, spiritually. Like, it's such a beautiful life, and it is my purpose to share with you guys how to actually do that and what that looks like and what your life could look like. And I'll be honest, I never thought I could live a life with peace. I never thought peace was something that like I could even have someday, because I just always lived with anxiety, social anxiety, fear of death, fear of random phobias, or fear of, I don't know, just general fear in life, or just feeling inadequate 24/7, feeling like I'm not enough, having trauma and literally having like trauma responses to everything in life, and just having my life just be kind of pathetic, just because everything was a trauma response. Everything was just broken in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Everything just, what is this? Oh, it's a shipwreck. I was like, what is this build that I definitely did not make myself? But my life was such a mess, and I wish I could illustrate better to you guys how messed up my life actually was, because it would only further prove the fact that I've come so far doing these daily habits and having these mindsets that I've adopted, and just all the things that I've done to reverse the trauma, reverse the pain, reverse the mental health problems, reverse even like OCD symptoms. Now, this is something I haven't talked about much on this channel, but I struggle with OCD, and specifically, for the most part, I struggle with something called trichotillomania, which is like a compulsive hair pulling disorder. And I have other OCD type symptoms, but that is like the main thing that I've always struggled with ever since I was a kid. And I'll be honest, I've pretty much, for the most part, overcome those things. I still get triggers every once in a while, but for the most part, I am completely better. And it's all thanks to this journey that I've been on, this journey of physical, mental, and spiritual improvement. And in today's video, I'm specifically going to tell you, let's see what's in this chest. Ugh, nothing that great. Okay, cool. It was, at least, is there another chest in here? There might be another one, right? I don't know. Anyways, I now wake up with a sense of, those were literally the armor pieces I needed. That's kind of funny. I now have so much peace when I wake up in the morning. I have so much purpose, and I feel so good about myself for a variety of reasons, but I genuinely, like, I think the biggest indicator of a successful life, overall is the fact that I now, like for the first time ever, I would actually want to be me all over again. Like, if you ask me, like, would you rather be this person who's like very successful, or would you rather be yourself? I would pick myself every single time. When a few years ago, for most of my life, I would have wanted what somebody else had. I would have wanted their money, their family, their girlfriend, or whatever they had, their fame, their success, their YouTube channel, whatever it is. But now, for the first time ever, I actually want to be myself. If that's not a testament to self-improvement, if that's not a testament to how much you can improve your life, I don't know what is. But overall, I've improved my life in the last few years in just a lot of ways. This is a really beautiful mountain. Holy crap. Look at that. Look at that view. Wow. Anyways, distractions. But yeah, I've improved in a lot of ways. I've improved my body. I've gone to the gym pretty consistently for the past 4 years now. Almost 4 years. Wow, it's been a long time. I've also been meditating. I've also been praying. I've been doing other habits that are either big or small for my mental health or physical and spiritual health. I've done a lot of trauma work to kind of improve my trauma, and I've also found God, which I know is controversial because a lot of people aren't into that. But to be honest, if I had to guess, most of us are interested in something more in this world, and whether that's New Age, whether that's some kind of Eastern religion, or maybe it's not religion at all and it's something spiritual. But for most of us, we are all looking for something more in this life, and I'm grateful to say that I have found that. And in pretty much, in my opinion, in pretty much in a way that no other religion could ever do, or like belief system, or sense of purpose could give me, I've actually found amazing things with Jesus Christ, and I'll get into that later. That's a whole nother thing. But ooh, let's see what's in this blacksmith. Wow. Okay. A bunch of diamonds, apples, diamond horse armor. I will gladly take that. That is amazing. Let's take whatever this is too. Grindstone. Don't know what that does, but oh my gosh, wait, take a minute with me, guys. Look at this beautiful area right here. You got the sun setting in the background, you got the mountains in the background, you got this little village just sitting right here, and another mountain back there. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at the clouds. The clouds actually look kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. But holy crap, this is beautiful, man. Anyways, where was I? Somebody help me. I'm gonna pretend like you guys can just hear me here. Oh wow, another good chest. Golden horse armor, iron chest plate, which I will gladly take and put on right now. Some apples. Probably gonna want to find a bed to sleep in before it gets too dark. But yeah, my mental health got so bad a few years ago that I actually contemplated ending my life a lot, every single day. Eventually, I actually attempted to take my own life, and I've shared this story many times on this channel, but basically, I was coming home from a late shift at Taco Bell, and I was pretty much closing and opening that entire week non-stop, and I just felt so overwhelmed, and my life just felt so miserable. Pretty much all I did with my time, just for reference, is I worked probably 60-70 hours a week, and the job was okay. Of course, you know, as good as a fast food job could get. I mean, there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fatigue, a lot of mental, spiritual, physical drain doing a job like that. But working, oh my gosh, working 60-70 hours, working 60-70 hours a week, if not more, occasionally, doing closing shifts, opening shifts, absolutely no sleep schedule. Sometimes I would skip sleep entirely, and the only other thing I did with my time other than that was maybe play video games, maybe jerk off or something, maybe goon or something, watch stuff online I shouldn't be watching. I would probably just eat junk food and just watch YouTube videos, or I would doom scroll for a few hours in bed. And sometimes I'd play basketball. I really liked kind of just playing basketball, listening to music, and shooting around. Basketball was kind of like my basketball was kind of like my source of therapy and my way of escaping the world and just kind of distracting myself and listening to music and daydreaming or whatever. I don't know. But just thinking about my life and where I'm at. But anyways, I was in a dark place. I didn't do anything with my life other than work and content consumption, entertainment. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel confident in myself and what I was capable of, or even my ability to do everyday tasks. And I think a big part of confidence and lack of confidence comes from, of course, how much we're actually living life in the moments. Because if we're living life more in the moment and we're doing more, we just feel better about ourselves and we have more confidence and we speak with more confidence and we feel more confident about ourselves. What is that? Oh, it's a portal, I think. Yeah, let's go check it out. See what we got over here. Oh! Ow. That did a lot of damage. Golden apple. Pickaxe. I'll take it. Thank you. Okay. Confidence definitely doesn't come from working harder, because if it was coming from working harder, then I should have been the most confident person in the world, right? You know, I was working a lot every day, 7 days a week a lot of times, and it still wasn't enough. So honestly, something I realized, a little side lesson here, something I realized is that confidence and also just quality of life often comes from living life more intentionally, like having hobbies, learning things, having a personality, and living life. Oftentimes when we just work ourselves to death or doom scroll ourselves to death, we don't have a personality to us because we don't learn anything, we don't live. What are we to talk about? What are we to do? What are we passionate about? There's nothing we're passionate about, so we're not gonna talk in a passionate way or have any charisma or have any confidence in ourselves, because we don't have ourselves anymore. We don't even have a sense of self. This is what happens when you're in that cycle, and that's what I was in. And eventually I got so bad that I tried to end my life. I had to, like I said, I was just coming home from a shift at Taco Bell late night, and I had a 10-inch hunting knife in my car. I still have that knife in my car, actually. Initially, I bought it for self-defense, and also because I thought Daryl Dixon was cool from The Walking Dead. He has that same exact knife, so I was like, oh, this is really awesome. But also, I ended up attempting to use that same knife to end my life. And honestly, like, I don't know if I would have done it. I very easily could have. Somebody like me who's very compulsive or impulsive, I suppose, could have easily just because I had that knife up to my neck. I could have very easily sliced my neck open, and I'm just so grateful I didn't, because look what my life has become now. It's so beautiful, and there's so much beauty to life that I never saw before. I think when we're depressed, we're kind of blind to the beauty of the world and how beautiful life and like the concept of life and how miraculous our bodies and our minds and our soul and our personality is. We're so blind and numb to that when we're depressed and when we're anxious, or when we're either living in the past or living in the present, or either living in the past or living in the future. But when we're living in the present, there's so much beauty in life to be enjoyed. Another little side tangent. But yeah, I was in a dark place and it didn't get better. Eventually I eventually my life changed a lot. I started going to church just for fun because my friend brought me there, and I was like, okay, I'll go with you every couple Sundays, every once in a while, just to spend more time with him. And I don't really know why I went. I just kind of felt prompted to, considering he invited me, and I don't know, it was a way to hang out with him a little more during the week in our pretty busy lives. But I eventually started to kind of I don't know. I didn't really believe in anything at church, or the belief that Jesus was God. I didn't really understand it, and it seemed very silly to me. And I thought Christianity was a joke because it's like, it makes no sense. It genuinely makes no sense. And that was my initial perspective, but and I always thought Christians just couldn't even explain very well what they believe in. But that was my initial perspective anyway. But yeah, I just constantly thought negative thoughts. I was constantly depressive and negative and hateful and judgmental, and I would get the most disturbing thoughts about hurting other people and like violently hurting them or hurting myself. Things I didn't even want to do, but I just thought of constantly. It was like intrusive. And holy crap, look at this hill. Look at this little mountain. Okay, this is cool. I'm gonna go swim over here. This is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. Holy crap, there's a coral reef down here too. Whoa. Okay, this is sick. This is actually really awesome. Imagine I built my base on this island instead. Kinda wanna do that. Just build a big bridge going over the desert. Man, that'd be sick. Anyways. But yeah, I wish I could put into words what my life was like. I was carrying so much guilt, so much depression, so much pain, so much rejection, so much negativity, so much hurt, so much trauma, so much anxious attachment, avoidance to other people, reclusiveness. Oh my gosh. I was in a dark place. And that was most of my life, even as a kid. I mean, I might not have been as depressed or anxious, but actually no, I was pretty anxious all the time for most of my life. But I struggled with OCD the most when I was really young, and that was painful because I was a joke. People looked at me like I was just like I was the ugliest creature they've ever seen. And I don't really blame them. But man, that's so hard. It really reprograms everything you experience in life and how you see people and how you expect people to see you, and it makes you a very anxious person, constantly overthinking what they're thinking of you and how they're perceiving the interaction that you're having with them. It's like it's constant, and it's just such a testament to this life, the fact that I overcame that, and that I now like am able to talk to people and socialize with people without actually thinking constantly or overthinking or feeling anxious or feeling bad inside. But now I actually have inner peace. I actually feel at peace, like, and most of us don't feel that way anymore. Most of us are so stressed or so anxious or overthinking or thinking about either the past or the future, either feeling bad about the past or looking to the future, and or worrying about the future, worrying about if we're going to pay the bills next month, or worrying about this presentation we have to give, or the test we have in a couple of weeks, or we have to worry about how our relationship is doing, if our relationship's going to stay, or we have this innate feeling of wanting to be appreciated and loved and in our tribe, and to not be rejected by our tribe and to not be cast out of our tribe. This is a very like primitive natural thing we have inside of us, that we're constantly thinking about, that about how people perceive us, and to be free from that is a beautiful experience that I want you to experience yourself. So, how did I change my life so much? How did I have so much anxiety, so much overthinking, so much self-inadequacy? And how did I turn that into peace, inner peace, presence, mindfulness, love, joy for life? How did I overcome these things? I'm going to tell you how. There's 4 main things that I really want to go into about how to have more peace in life. There's routine, there's mindfulness, there's hard work, and there's spiritual state. I'm going to go into all these 4 things in depth and what they mean, and how improving these things can improve your inner peace in life. And this is basically a daily journey that I want you to take part in. This is going to greatly help your mental health, and it definitely worked for me. So I need to get away from these mobs. They are very distracting. Okay. The first thing is routine. Now, something that really helped me overcome my stress levels and just be more in the moment and be less stressed about the future and just be able to enjoy life in the present. You know how when we were kids, we were so able to just enjoy life in the moment. We were always doing stupid little things or fun things, or just making the most out of the present moment with our friends or by ourselves, or in the grass we played as kids. Like, we were just always so in the moment, and we can get that feeling back again in life. And one of the big things that I started doing was having a routine, and also planning ahead my deadlines, the things I need to do, the things I was stressed about or worried about or kind of procrastinating. But this is honestly like the best thing you could do, especially if you're a student or somebody who has a lot of things going on in their life. This is hands down the best thing you can do. Now, the first part of this is having a daily routine. Now, a lot of people don't like the idea of having a routine, but having a routine is the greatest way to basically allow yourself to live in the moment. Now, if you have no responsibilities, if you have no deadlines or responsibilities or things in life that you have to worry about on a regular basis, I'm getting destroyed by mobs right now. Holy crap. That was terrifying. If you have nothing going on in your life and you just sit at home all day and do nothing and have nothing to worry about, then you don't really need to take this advice, because you're going to have peace no matter what. But if you have bills, if you have responsibilities, if you have homework assignments and tests and relationships to worry about and this thing and that thing and chores and that and just a million different things to worry about, and especially so if you're traumatic, if you have like a traumatic kind of approach to life where you kind of subconsciously worry about every little thing, either socially or productivity wise or any way in life, or just in any way in life. That was terrifying. But having a daily routine that is fairly consistent is going to help you a lot with just oh my gosh. I am one hit right now. Okay, I need to kind of focus here before I die. I am at 1.5 hearts, and if I get shot by a skeleton, I am cooked. For those who don't know, I am playing in hardcore mode, ultra hardcore mode, where I can't regenerate health naturally, so I'm getting kind of cooked right now, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I think we're safe now. As long as we don't get blown up by a creeper, I think we're safe. Alright, let's continue onwards. We're just kind of exploring the world right now and seeing what lies ahead of us and see what things we can find in this world. By the way, this is the same world that I usually record my videos in. I just have kind of started fresh in a new area, very far away from the other place. So that little house, the little castle with like the village and everything, that is in this world. I did not start a new world, for the record. And also, I want to take the opportunity right now while I'm kind of taking a break, I guess, from what we're talking about, is I wanted to mention that if you are enjoying this video, if this is helping you in some kind of way, or if you just like this style of content, I have other videos of the same exact thing, of me just kind of talking for an hour and talking about life and advice and my experiences and stories in life, and with some calm Minecraft gameplay in the background. So if that sounds good, consider subscribing and watching some of my other videos, because I believe they will help you as well, just as this one has helped you. Having a daily routine definitely minimizes the stress you have with the things you have to do on a daily basis. And honestly, you'd be surprised how much stress or subconscious stress can come from like trying to choose what to eat every day, or for lunch, or for dinner, or what to wear, or what to do in the morning, or what to do at night. If you have a set routine, you're going to be able to structure your day so much better, to where it gives you more sense of peace. For example, let's say you have a homework assignment that you need to do desperately, or let's say you have something that you need to work on but you just are procrastinating, or you just don't know when to do it, or you're procrastinating. Well, it's really hard to procrastinate when you have a time that you're actually supposed to do it every single day. For me, I work on my kind of business or YouTube channel or coaching. I pretty much do that every day from 4 a.m. to 5. And if you just have a set schedule for these kind of things, you will be able to not just be more productive or consistent, but you'll also be less likely to mentally fatigue yourself. You'll have more inner peace, because you're just thinking less about what you need to do, or what time, or stressing about what to do at what time of the day, or like there's just less mental fatigue and stress when you have consistency. Something I like to do is I like to make my routine on Google Calendar, just because it looks really nice and clean. And I pretty much have the app on my phone, and I just set alarms and reminders for when each event takes place. So when 6 a.m. hits, it's time to go to the gym. So I set an alarm and a notification on the calendar app for 6 a.m. and it'll say gym on it, and that'll be my cue to go to the gym. Now, a lot of people would like hear this and think that that's a very depressing life, having this like doing the same things at the same time every day. But honestly, like, it's the best way to make progress in your life, and it's the best way to have consistency and to kind of program your mind to be more in the moment, and to just worry about things less, and nonetheless you'll be more productive. So you'll have more confidence as well, and have less to worry about, and less to overthink about, less to feel bad about, because you're productive. So there's layers to this, and honestly, I think making a routine is one of the most important things people can do, that honestly is very easy and takes a couple minutes. Just think of a routine that you can realistically do every day. Like, don't just decide to wake up at 4 a.m. if you've never done it before, and don't start your routine like with like 20 different habits every day. I personally recommend just starting off with a couple habits, do them consistently, and then just kind of have a rough outline of like the structure of your day, and like what you'll do in the morning and what you'll do at night, and that's pretty much it. That would be my recommendation. But having a routine definitely does help, I will say. Now specifically, something that is really good is scheduling and journaling down individual future events that stress you out or things you're overthinking. So for example, if you have a test in 2 weeks that you're really stressed about, and it's like something you probably think about dozens if not hundreds of times a day, that is something that is really taking you out of the present moment in life, and something you should probably try and work on. Now, the way that you do this is journaling and scheduling. So if you already have a routine, that is where scheduling comes into play, because all you need to do is, if you have something you're stressed about, is go to Google Calendar, go to your routine, and just add in that thing. Set a reminder for that day, for one, and for two, set a time for a day that you're gonna actually solve that thing. So if you're stressed about a test for school, let's say this Friday or this weekend at 6 p.m. you're gonna study for that test. You're gonna do some maybe practice tests in preparation for that test, and schedule that in, set a reminder, set an alarm, and then now you really don't need to think about it, right? Now, this seems like a pointless thing, but if you even give yourself 1 hour or 1 day of just rest, mental rest from thinking about this one thing, then you are genuinely doing yourself a world of favor. You are now practicing mindfulness. You're practicing living in the moment. You're actually enjoying your life, at least for a day, when you plan this out. And it's going to be something that, honestly, as small as it is, just doing that one thing, this one habit, will genuinely make you more present and more productive and just less stressed. How cool is it that you can literally just put something on your calendar, set a reminder, set an alarm, and then just forget about it? Mentally, you can just easily forget about it because you've already kind of, in a way, solved that thing without doing any work. Like literally, all you did was set a reminder for another day where you're gonna work on that thing, and in doing so, has taken all the stress, all the thoughts, all the extra overthinking off your mind, and is now allowing you to be more present. How amazing is that? Now, this doesn't work if you're keeping it in your head, because when you keep it in your head, you're not gonna be. It just doesn't work. I mean, you're just gonna keep thinking about it to like remind yourself. When if you just put it on paper or put it on Google Calendar, you're not gonna need to think about it at all, because it's already like there's already a reminder set, an alarm set. It's not something you need to think about anymore. So your brain offloads it, and that's all you need to do really, is get it to be offloaded from your mind, so you don't have to think about it 24/7. There's no point in stressing about it. It's not going to help you if you're stressing about it. If anything, stressing about something actually makes you less prepared for it, because you're draining your mind and fatiguing yourself mentally, so you're less able to actually work on that thing or improve that thing. But in terms of journaling is an amazing habit. The point of journaling is essentially to get it off your mind and onto paper. But the thing is, with journaling that's different from scheduling, is journaling actually puts your feelings and your emotions and how you're kind of feeling about that thing onto paper. So you no longer need to feel that or worry about that. Now, this is actually a way, now as crazy as it sounds, this is actually how you overcome trauma. Basically, when we journal, we are feeling and expressing and like putting out into the world what we're kind of feeling on the inside. And all trauma is suppressed feelings, suppressed emotions that you didn't get to actually feel. That's why feelings that were suppressed or repressed or turned down from childhood often turn into trauma, because you weren't safely allowed or safely able to feel them in the moment, which causes trauma down the road. So something you can do is, when you're feeling stressed, just journal down why you're feeling stressed, for what reason, for what thing you're stressed about, and just elaborate until you really have nothing left that you feel you need to write about. And then when you do this, you're basically it's almost like it's almost like a sigh of relief after you're done doing this, because it's such a relieving habit for your mind. So journaling is very helpful, and honestly, journaling is something I wish I did more often, because I often overlook it and think, oh, it's pointless. There's no point in writing down how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking about or what I'm stressed about. But in actuality, every time I've done it, I've seen benefits and seen that I've become more present and more in the moment and less stressed and anxious and more self-aware also. So definitely an amazing habit. The third thing is mindfulness, aka living in the moment. We don't live in the moment anymore. A big part of that is doom scrolling, and a big part of it is anxiety. A big part of it is our thoughts and the fact that we think all the time. But there's actually one habit you can do every single day that takes very little time and it's very easy to do, that will actually help you live more in the moment. And again, like, if you're able to live more in the moment, you're going to have more peace and you're going to enjoy life more because you're going to be more intentional. If you're more in the moment with life, that means you're able to do hobbies instead of doom scrolling. That means you're able to actually enjoy life with loved ones in the moment instead of overthinking during every social interaction you have. You'll actually be able to bond with people and just feel more alive. The number one reason why we don't feel alive anymore is because we're not present. We're not living life in the moment. We're living life in this haze caused by doom scrolling and stress and responsibilities. I almost just died. Oh, never mind. There's water here. I was gonna say that would have been not good. Oh, man. The way that you train your ability to live in the moment is through a habit called meditation. Now, the way you meditate is just by focusing on your breath or focusing on something in your immediate surroundings and centering your focus on that for at least 1 minute, preferably longer. Eventually, for at least 1 minute. Eventually, you're going to get distracted. Eventually, you're going to get something else on your mind, and you won't even be aware of it. But eventually, a little time after that, you'll become aware. Oh, dang it! Like I'm overthinking about something totally irrelevant. I'm not even focused on the present anymore. You're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna get upset, but that is completely okay. The whole point of journaling is to redirect your mind back to the present moment. So actually, meditating requires that you get distracted. You need to get distracted to actually be able to meditate, because distraction is like hitting failure in the gym. You're not going to go to the gym, do 10 reps, and then hit failure and be like, oh, I didn't get 11 reps. I'm going to quit the gym. This is stupid. I'm not doing bicep curls anymore because I failed my 11th rep. That is essentially what we do when we don't meditate, or we stop meditating because we fail or we get distracted, per se. So losing focus is actually good. Losing focus is where you make the most progress. Yes, it's the most frustrating, but so is failing in the gym. Failing a bench press, failing a bicep curl is frustrating in the gym. But that's how you make progress, is doing that. It's painful, it sucks, it's rough, but it's what you need to do. Now, if it's your first time meditating, you're probably going to get distracted in like 5 seconds, and that's totally okay. Eventually, over time, you'll get distracted way less, and that's kind of like the equivalent of raising the weight that you lift in the gym, or raising the reps, per se. But yeah, meditation is an amazing habit, and I really recommend that you try it out every single day, and just set an alarm and set a reminder and have it on your routine for a specific time every day, preferably in the morning time, because then it sets your day off on a more mindful trajectory. If you do it at night, it just kind of, you're not really preparing or running off of any momentum the rest of the day, But if you start your day off with meditation, you're kind of incentivizing mindfulness throughout the whole day. Meditation is a very overlooked habit. Most people don't meditate. The people that do meditate often do it just because it's new age, and it's like they think they're like yoking with some kind of spiritual realm or some kind of spiritual thing. Like it's not like that though. The whole point of meditation is to focus on the present and to improve your ability to live in the moment. I have seen amazing benefits from doing this. I have noticed that by meditating every single day, my mindfulness is like, my ability to live in the moment and enjoy the moment is so high, and I just feel like I doom scroll less. I feel like I don't stimulate myself with like doom scrolling and all that a whole lot when I meditate. And just overall, meditation makes me feel better inside. It makes me feel more alive. It makes me feel more sensitive to the real world and more able to handle life in a way. I don't know. I just feel less stimulated all the time, which feels really nice. There's other ways to train your ability to be present. Meditation is like the number one way. Meditation is like the main exercise for that. But if you do any hobbies or activities or sports that put you in the present or make you unbelievably focused in the moment, that is going to train your ability to live in the moment as well. Now, there's also habits that make your ability to live in the moment worse, like doom scrolling, like content consumption, like eating junk food, like watching lustful things online. These are all things that make our mindfulness much worse and decrease our ability to live in the moment. So you really want to limit those things in life and start doing more of the other things that raise your ability to live in the moment. Basically, the more in the moment you are, the more better life feels. The more you feel like a kid again in a weird way. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of losing my voice right now, I'm not gonna lie. I have not... For the record, I've been talking all day at work. I'm recording this at like 7 p.m. right now, and I am now talking for another hour plus. So I am losing it right now. I am totally losing it. Ugh, I still have like 30 minutes too. Man, Lord help me. On the topic of doom scrolling though, we really need to overcome doom scrolling. That is honestly the number one thing that is ruining our ability to live in the moment. We are doom scrollers. Like, genuinely, we have so much brain rot from our doom scrolling addiction that we don't even enjoy life anymore. When we doom scroll, we are basically relying on stimulation and high intensity pleasure to actually enjoy life, because we don't enjoy life on a baseline level anymore. Like, genuinely, we don't enjoy our life anymore. The only time we have any kind of escape or pleasure is when we doom scroll, is when we seek pleasurable habits. But those pleasurable habits are stealing happiness from our future self. You can't just keep stealing happiness from your future self over and over and over and over, because when you do that, you are ruining your life. You are ruining the present moment. People have been doing this with their life. They've been sacrificing the present moment. They've been sacrificing their present moment and their future moments. We've all been sacrificing our present existence and our future selves, our future state, just to enjoy a bit of pleasure right now in life. What a horrible deal. There's ways to overcome doom scrolling. the number one way is to be more mindful. Meditation definitely does help a lot. The other ways is to kind of make your phone less stimulating. So turn on grayscale in like the settings, turn off notifications, because notifications tempt you to open your phone. Honestly, like 90% of the time we go to our open our phones and open like apps is because of notifications that we see on our phone. So if we can just turn off the notifications or limit how much we see them, especially from social media apps, then we're going to be a lot better off and be a lot less likely to doom scroll or just distract ourselves. Honestly, very realistic progress would be cutting our doom scrolling in half after a few months. I think that is very realistic and is very achievable for anybody that tries. And of course, the end goal is to never doom scroll, because it's not actually that pleasurable. Like, that's like saying that eating cake is pleasurable, but we all know if you eat cake every single day because it's pleasurable, well, your life is gonna suck eventually, because you're fat, you're lazy, you're ugly, you're out of shape, you hate your life, you feel tired all the time, you can't do any hobbies or activities. So in that way, in that like delayed versus instant gratification way, doom scrolling is very, very bad for us. But also, just having a busy day, having a busy life is great. Now, by busy, I don't mean working 24/7. By busy, I actually mean just having your whole day planned out. And honestly, like, if you're gonna rest. Have a few hours dedicated to resting every single day, and have a few hours dedicated to work. You realize that you could work 12-hour days, 14-hour days, and then come home for 3 hours and actually replenish and like relax and wind down and get your energy back. But it's not as stimulating. Meditating or reading a book or relaxing or journaling, taking care of your body, your mind, your soul, is nowhere near as stimulating or enjoyable as doom scrolling or YouTube or Netflix or partying or being lustful. So of course nobody's gonna do it, but if you do it, then you're gonna see a lot of benefits in your life. There's other ways to overcome doom scrolling. I have tons of videos on it, so I'm not gonna go too much longer into that part of things, because there's other places I want to take this video. Specifically, I want to talk about learning the ability to turn yourself on and turn yourself off. That sounded very wrong, but what I mean by that is, you know, that like high cortisol, stressed, hypervigilant work mode that you get into when you go to work every day, and when we're working, and when we're going to the gym, for example, or when we're stressed or anxious. We basically, a lot of people, when they get off of work or school, they never actually turn off. They distract themselves with TV and doom scrolling and pleasure, but they never actually turn off. So what you need to do is master the ability to, and that is why you're not enjoying your life. That is why you never feel like you get to enjoy your life anymore, because you're not able to turn off from school or work. You're just constantly in work mode, constantly in hypervigilant mode, constantly stressed, constantly anxious. What we need to do is master the ability to turn our mind off of work mode and stressed mode and anxious mode when we get off of work. There's ways to do this. The first thing is actually being intentional. Holy crap. Be as intentional with your life as possible, and routine definitely helps with that. The second thing is a habit that I do every single day. I never miss it. It is simple. It is easy. It is literally just taking a shower after work. In a weird way, taking a shower kind of acts as like a mental reset. So when the first thing you do after work is get home and take a shower, you are essentially like resetting your mind from work mode into like a more relaxed, winding down kind of state. You might have noticed if you don't shower after work or school, you just kind of stay in that like work state and like work mode, and like you're also more likely to doom scroll and like do things like bad habits, especially, or addictions, or eat junk food. But if you take a shower and you relax and you wind down, you're actually less likely to do those bad habits. It's almost like we do those bad habits as a coping mechanism for stress, for anxiety, for this life that we're running from, the thoughts that we're running from. We do these bad habits not even because we're addicted or we like doing these habits. We don't doom scroll because we actually like it. We doom scroll because we're trying to escape this life that we're living, these thoughts that we're getting, the anxiety, the stress, the work mode. But if you just turn off that work mode, if you learn to turn it off, you can actually enjoy the rest of your day after work. You can enjoy hobbies. You can enjoy reading a book. You can enjoy taking care of your body, your mind, and being on self-improvement and doing self-improvement habits every day. You can actually enjoy quality time with loved ones. You can enjoy your purpose. You can enjoy life again. That's possible for you, but you have to learn how to turn it off. Turn that work mode off. Taking a shower definitely helps in a weird way. I know it's a very weird solution, but it definitely does help a lot. What was the third thing? There was a third thing I wanted to mention that helps with that. I don't remember. But doom scrolling definitely has a big part. If you end up doom scrolling after work, you are very likely to stay in that work mode state for the rest of the night. And that is just not good. It also affects your ability to wake up in the morning. So if you try to wake up early every morning and you just can't, oftentimes it's because we're still in work mode for the most of the night, and that makes it hard to sleep. I don't really know what to do right now. I'm kind of stuck in this boat until it's daytime because I have little to no health. I could stub my toe and die right now, so I'm trying to kind of wait for the sun to rise before I do anything. But yeah, you do not want to live your whole life in this hyper-vigilant, anxious state. And for the record, doom scrolling actually puts you in that work mode, that like hyper-vigilant state. Studies have actually shown that doom scrolling puts you in that like high cortisol, high stress state. And honestly, just living your entire life in that state is not good. You do not want to live like this. You really do not want to live. You really do not want to live your life in this stressed state 24/7 for the rest of your life. So doom scrolling is something we need to overcome, and we also need to just be better at switching off from work mode and turning on present mode and wind down mode and just life mode. I know we complain about work-life balance and like living for work, but in actuality, you could work 12-hour days and still have life left to live. We're just not very good as humans in this modern day. We're just not very good at managing that. We're not good at switching off. We're not good at turning it off. We're not good at switching over to life mode. So that's something we just need to work on and improve, and a big way to improve that is by not doom scrolling. How do you not doom scroll? Well, I've said a couple ways, but a big thing is, well, we're using it as a coping mechanism. So I don't know, what can you replace instead of doom scrolling? Maybe it's self-improvements, maybe it's doing good habits, maybe it's purpose, maybe it's something that contributes to the world that gives you purpose, something that benefits the world that you can create or make or do that gives you purpose. Could be a lot of things. I would even rather that you watch Netflix than scrolling on social media or doom scrolling, because it's so much worse for you. it puts you in this stressed state like no other habit or bad habit or addiction does. It's genuinely horrible for you. And it takes away all your peace in life. Honestly, like, this monk lifestyle is so much more peaceful. And what do you think monks have stimulation in their life? Do you think they have TikTok? A lot of people would think monks live a boring life, but they're happier than you. They are genuinely happier than you. So obviously more stimulation, more pleasure isn't better. Like, it obviously isn't better. So just some food for thought. We really need to think about these things, because they have a impact on our life every single day, and we're doing them without even realizing how it's impacting us, and that's a problem. Honestly, the best your life will ever feel is when you're completely in the moment, and monks have perfected that because they have no stimulation. They have nothing that's, and they meditate. Meditation is amazing. The last thing that I want to mention, now the next thing I want to mention is actually related to God. So if you're an atheist, maybe click off this part, I don't know. This is something I just wanted to mention because it's something that has really improved my life in terms of my inner peace. And honestly, I think this probably has had the biggest effect. Maybe meditation is up there, but this has had the biggest effect on my inner peace levels in life. And it's having God. Having God really does help with our inner peace. And I want to explain why here. The thing is, we don't trust ourselves very much. We don't trust the government or other people very much. We always have a sense of anxiety or mistrust in other people or ourselves. But when we were kids, we didn't really have mistrust. We put our full trust in our parents for our well-being, that they would take care of us, that they would protect us. And even if we had very messed up or abusive parents, we still trusted them to take care of us in a way and protect us, and that we knew that we would always be okay because of our parents. No matter what happens at school, no matter what happens in our life, they will take care of us, they will provide, they will give us food and shelter. However, as adults, we don't really have that thing that's bigger than us that we can put our trust in. We used to have our parents, but they're no longer really bigger than us. Yeah, they're still older, but they're not bigger. They're just as fully grown human as us. And honestly, sometimes we think we are even more wise than them. And we just can't put our trust in anybody else because it's just not realistic. You're not living with your parents when you're 45 and you're not relying on them, that's for sure. So how, as an adult, can you have trust in something bigger than you? Well, the only answer is God. And honestly, I think this is the default state of the universe, because we are meant to trust in something. We are meant to put our full, undivided trust in something, because when we do, we feel the most inner peace in life. We feel like we can actually enjoy life. I don't think anybody can actually truly enjoy life without having that, like, innate trust in someone or something to take care of us existentially. And as kids, we could with our parents, but not anymore. So what do we put our trust in? The only answer that you could think of is God. And regardless if God is real or not, for me, like, I wasn't born Christian. I became Christian about 3 years ago, and there's really no telling as to why I somehow was convinced that God was real, other than experiencing him. But, like, there's no way you can just convince me otherwise that God is real or that this is all real. It just kind of became real to me, and when it did, it changed my life, because I realized I could actually trust this to take care of me. I almost just died again. Holy crap, I almost landed right there. I almost missed that jump completely. That would have been so bad. But yeah, I mean, this is something to consider, even if you're an atheist, because we were made to put our trust in something, and when we have it in God or something that's just bigger than us, we are able to relax. We are able to relax with our life, because what is the worst thing that could happen? The worst thing that can happen is we die. Or maybe someone we love dies. But if that happens, and we have assurance that we're gonna be with God when we die, and we know where we're gonna go, we know what's after, we have full peace in life, that we will be with God, we will have peace and love and joy, and there'll be no more tears or crying or pain or death or trauma in this next life. When we have full trust in that, and when we have full trust in our existential spiritual safety, we feel like kids again. We have so much inner peace in life, and it's genuinely so amazing. I wish I could put it into words. When I was about 11 or 12 years old, I had a dream of heaven. Like, genuinely, it felt like heaven to me. 100% goodness, 100% peace, 100% joy, 100% love, like overbearing love from something bigger than me in this dream. And honestly, like, when I'm close to God, I feel that, like a glimpse of that again on this earth. A glimpse of that dream in my life. I feel it again. And you know, I want that for you. I want you to feel that, because so many of us are so tired. We're so tired of the pain, the trauma, the sadness, the depression, the anxiety, this sorrowful life, the stress, the endless cycle that we're gonna have to endure for the next 40, 50, 60 years. That becomes so much easier to bear when we have God, and it feels better. Our life starts to feel better when we're closer to God. By the way, when I talk about being close to God, I'm talking about either through having a relationship with God, through prayer, through living a life of God, and I also mean godly values, living a life of God. So like being honest, being loving, being kind, being patient, being present, not being lustful, not watching bad stuff, not eating junk food like our body means nothing to us, our health, not cussing people out, not hurting anybody. These things, not telling lies, these things have an impact on our soul, on like our spiritual state. And our spiritual state is directly linked with our level of peace in life. If our spiritual state is good, we have more peace. If our spiritual state is bad, we have less peace. And also, a lot of our addictions are shameful. Like, eating junk food in a weird way has like an innate sense of shame that like makes you feel bad or like anxious about it. If somebody saw you just pigging out on the couch with like a full bag of Doritos, you'd feel shame in a weird way. If somebody saw you like stroking the chicken, grabbing the cranking the hog, or whatever people call it, gooning. If somebody saw you gooning, you'd feel so much shame and like anxiety and like rush of like that feeling of like hiding a secret from family and friends, that feeling inside of like holding secrets from people. That is because your spiritual state is all jacked up. It's because you're doing something that you're not actually supposed to be doing, something that isn't actually good for you. So this is something very important to consider if we want to have peace in life, is having faith in God, having a relationship with God, and also our spiritual state, which at that point, to improve our spiritual state, we have to do better. We have to overcome our addictions. We have to overcome our bad habits, and we at least need to feel repentant for doing these bad habits. We need to feel bad and like feel sorrowful for doing bad things. I promise lust is one of the biggest things that make you feel shame and guilt and dirtiness. And when you do lust, you literally, when you're doing lustful things, you're literally feeling less alive as a result. You're feeling more numb, you're feeling more stressed, more anxious, because it's naturally something you're not supposed to be doing. So, as a result, you feel worse inside. And if you feel worse inside, well, again, peace is linked to that. So your level of peace is now lowered. Your level of peace is higher when your joy is higher, when your honesty is higher, when your innocence is higher, when your joy is higher, when your discipline is higher. So it's all linked up together. All these good attributes and all these bad attributes, they all have an effect on everything, including our inner peace. So if you want to have peace in life, we have to be good people. We have to overcome addictions, overcome bad habits, and treat people with love and kindness, even though it's hard. And that's what I talk about on this channel, is how to do these things, how to overcome anger, how to meditate for your mental health, how to overcome depression, how to journal for stress and anxiety, how to eat healthier, how to go to the gym, and how the gym literally affects your soul and your mind and of course your body. But there's so many things that I talk about for good reason, because these things will all improve your life all across the board, including your inner peace. So that's just my 2 cents on having peace in life. I don't know if it was like a very good discussion, but I don't know. That was my thoughts on it, and this is how I've drastically increased my level of peace. Something I do want to emphasize is telling lies. Telling lies, even white lies, holds so much weight in your life and makes you feel so much less alive and so much more stressed and anxious just subconsciously. So the more you just practice honesty, and again, it's hard. Like, if you have an addiction to lying, which I used to have an addiction to, it's like as hard as like overcoming like drugs or alcohol or overcoming any addiction. Like, it's genuinely hard to stop lying, but if you just make baby steps to improving it and you just be as intentional as possible with improving it, genuinely, you can get better. And as a result, you'll have less anxiety, less stress, you'll have more peace, you'll just feel better inside. Overall, your life will get better just by not lying anymore. I promise you, the benefit of lying and like making people think of you a different way is not worth the darkness you will get in your soul, the stress, the weight of keeping secrets from somebody or people. And honestly, just doing bad things in private holds so much like weight that it's better to just not even do those things. Like, honestly, don't be lustful, don't sleep around, don't do embarrassing things. It's not worth it, trust me. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys in this one. That is how you have peace in life. I hope this video was interesting. I hope it was good for you. I don't know how to close out this video, but I just want to say you're valuable. Your life is valuable, and your life can get better. If you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're just, let me dig a bigger hole here. If you're just not mentally well, if your life just isn't good, your life can get better, because mine got better. I promise you, it is possible for you to be on this journey and genuinely love life again and feel peace again and feel like a kid again. It is possible for you. It's hard, but it's possible. I love you, bro. I'll see you again, hopefully sometime soon, in another video. Goodbye. Hey, before you click off this video, I have a Discord community that is for those trying to improve their life. If that's you, if you're just tired of living a life of depression, anxiety, just poor mental health, then surrounding yourself with other people just like you is a great way to help you improve your life. Let's all strive for a better life together. Click the link in the description right now. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support me and earn some cool perks in return. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.